Milania Giudice is facing one of the most heartbreaking losses of her young life after the sudden death of her lifelong best friend, Victoria Zardoya. The 20-year-old University of Tampa student died after suffering catastrophic injuries during a tragic accident while exploring the historic Fort Dade ruins on Egmont Key, Florida. What began as a weekend getaway with friends quickly turned into an unimaginable nightmare, leaving Victoria's family, friends, and the entire Giudice family devastated. According to the latest information shared by those closest to Victoria, the tragedy happened on July 24 while she was visiting Florida from New Jersey to spend the weekend with friends. The group had been enjoying a day on the water before deciding to explore the abandoned ruins of Fort Dade, a historic military site on Egmont Key. Friends later explained that they were preparing to leave the area when everything changed in a matter of seconds. Victoria suffered a devastating fall while exploring the ruins, and the people with her initially believed she had only fallen one level. Within moments, they realized she had fallen much farther than anyone expected. The terrifying realization sparked an immediate rescue effort. Friends rushed toward the edge, climbed down to reach Victoria, and called 911, while others launched emergency flares from nearby boats to help first responders locate them as quickly as possible. They stayed with Victoria, holding her and trying to comfort her while waiting for rescue crews. Emergency responders arrived by boat before she was airlifted by medical helicopter to a nearby hospital. Despite every effort by medical professionals, Victoria succumbed to her injuries 2 days later, on July 26th, at only 20 years old. The emotional account shared by one of Victoria's friends has touched thousands online because it highlighted not only the horrifying accident, but also the desperate determination of everyone present to save her. Her friend explained that everyone did absolutely everything they could, emphasizing that Victoria was never alone. She was surrounded by people who loved her, who refused to give up hope, and who fought until the very end. The heartbreaking statement concluded with a reminder that life can change forever in an instant and urged people to cherish every ordinary moment with the people they love. News of Victoria's passing spread quickly throughout the Bravo community after Milania Giudice and her family began sharing emotional tributes. Although millions know Milania as the daughter of Teresa Giudice from The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Victoria was never simply a friend to the Giudices. She had been part of their lives since childhood. They grew up as neighbors, spent countless years together, and eventually both attended the University of Tampa, continuing a friendship that had lasted nearly their entire lives. Milania's grief became immediately apparent through the memories she shared on social media. She posted touching throwback photos spanning years of friendship, including childhood pictures and more recent moments that showed just how inseparable they remained. One particularly emotional video referred to Victoria as her sweet girl and her best friend, while another series of reposted messages reflected the overwhelming pain of losing someone who had been part of nearly every stage of her life. Among the most heartbreaking words she shared was a quote expressing how difficult it is to accept that someone must now be remembered for longer than they were known. Gia Giudice's tribute was equally emotional and perhaps offered the clearest glimpse into how deeply Victoria had become part of the family. He described Victoria as being like another daughter, recalling how he watched her grow up alongside Milania after years of living next door. He reflected on the cruel reality that a young woman with her entire future ahead of her could lose her life because of what he described as a simple fall while enjoying time with friends. His message spoke about the fragility of life and how impossible it feels to accept that someone so vibrant could be gone so suddenly. Teresa Giudice also honored Victoria through heartfelt social media posts, sharing messages of prayer and remembrance while expressing love for Victoria and support for her grieving family. Gia Giudice remembered Victoria as a beautiful angel, while Adriana Giudice also shared emotional tributes celebrating the life of someone who had clearly become part of the family's inner circle. Together, the Giudices presented a picture of Victoria not merely as Milania's closest friend, but as someone who had been embraced as family for years. As more friends began sharing their memories, an even fuller portrait of Victoria emerged. Many described her as someone who could instantly brighten every room she entered. Friends repeatedly remembered her loud laugh, endless energy, infectious personality, and ability to make everyone around her feel welcome. Several said she lived life to the fullest and never took a single day for granted. Others spoke about how impossible it felt to imagine future milestones without her presence, describing the enormous hole her passing has left in the lives of everyone fortunate enough to know her. One especially emotional hospital photograph, shared by a close friend, became another symbol of the tragedy. The image showed Victoria's hand while she was still receiving medical treatment after the accident, accompanied by a heartfelt message reminding everyone to appreciate life because it can disappear without warning. The friend wrote that if Victoria wanted anything, it would be for people to continue spreading happiness and love, just as she always had. Public reaction has been overwhelming. Thousands of messages have flooded social media from fans of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, classmates from the University of Tampa, childhood friends, and complete strangers who were moved by the story. Many people commented that the tragedy serves as a painful reminder that ordinary days can become life-changing in seconds. Others expressed sympathy for Victoria's parents, acknowledging that no family should ever experience the loss of a child so young. Fans also shared support for Milania, recognizing how incredibly difficult it must be to lose someone who had been by her side since childhood. The location where the accident occurred has also drawn attention. Fort Dade, situated on Egmont Key at the entrance to Tampa Bay, is a historic military site that attracts visitors interested in exploring its old brick structures and scenic surroundings. While many tourists visit the island each year, Victoria's tragic accident has renewed conversations about the importance of exercising extreme caution around aging historic ruins, where uneven terrain and deteriorating structures can create unexpected dangers. Despite the growing attention surrounding the circumstances of the accident, those closest to Victoria have consistently asked people to focus on celebrating her life rather than speculating about the tragedy itself. Friends have stressed that this was a devastating accident that unfolded in mere seconds, changing countless lives forever. Their hope is that Victoria will be remembered not for the way she died, but for the kindness, laughter, generosity, and joy she brought into the lives of everyone who knew her. For Milania Giudice, this loss marks an incredibly painful chapter during what should have been an exciting period of young adulthood. The memories she shared made it clear that Victoria was present for birthdays, vacations, school years, milestones, and countless everyday moments that now carry even greater meaning. Her friendship had survived childhood, adolescence, and the transition into college, making Victoria's absence almost impossible to comprehend. As family members continue mourning privately, supporters across the entertainment world have continued offering prayers and condolences. While the Bravo community often makes headlines for drama, this heartbreaking story has united fans in compassion. Instead of reality television storylines, people are focusing on something much more important, honoring the memory of a young woman whose life ended far too soon and supporting those left behind. Victoria Zardoya's passing is a reminder that life is incredibly fragile, that ordinary moments should never be taken for granted, and that the people we love deserve to know exactly how much they mean to us every single day. Her family, her lifelong friends, and the Giudice family are now carrying memories that will stay with them forever, remembering a young woman whose laughter, kindness, and spirit touched so many lives in just 20 short years. As more tributes continue to pour in, Victoria's legacy is becoming one of love, friendship, and the countless lives she positively impacted. Her story has resonated with people around the world because it reflects a truth that everyone understands but never wants to face: that life can change without warning, making every shared memory and every expression of love infinitely more valuable. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.